Marina Tate to the National Critics' Choice, and we hear that you will be launching your book at this Singapore Writers Festival. Yes, and before that, most of my readers are keen to know, what have you been up to all these years? I mean, what actually gave you the idea or the inspiration, in fact, to write and to inspire?
Well, I've been known as a playwright for many years. I've done a lot of theatre, I've performed, I've directed, and I've written stuff. I've worked with a lot of companies in Singapore, and over the years, as a result, I've written stuff that other people have produced, but also stuff that I have produced. What I tend to write about are based on autobiographical impulses. Things that either that have happened to me or that I've encountered that I felt had a nugget that needed to be explored deeper. And so the types of plays that I've written have been very varied, from the very personal, very autobiographical. For instance, the play that I'm most known in Singapore is called The Car. And that was, I took a long time to finish it, 9 years, but at the end of 9 years I won an award for it. And that one was based on my father, loosely on my father, myself, and my father's favorite car. At the point at which he died, that car had been in his possession for over 40 years. And so, in the Singaporean context, that's extremely very rare.
And what was your father's favorite color of the car?
It was really depending on which period. It was at one time it was baby blue, at another time it was a beige. So yeah. Anyway, I've also written about my bugbear, about big feet. I got big feet, so I got this monologue called The Perfect Shoe, my very first monologue that I created. I've written about things that have intrigued me, like whether I belong to Singapore or I don't belong to Singapore. So that's the play Bumiputra Cina, and both The Car and Bumiputra Cina appear in this book in the company of heroes. And the last major play that I would like to mention that appears in the company of heroes is this play called The Lunar Interviews. And The Lunar Interviews, you could say, is kind of based on the storyteller part of me. I rewrote the myths of 3 moon goddesses and in monologue form, and interspersed it with smaller monologues on other issues. And well, they make fascinating reads. But as you mentioned, this book was launched this year in June. The one that will be launched at the Singapore Writers Festival in a few days' time will be this book called Victimology. And these 3 plays that are short plays that are inside this collection is very, very different from my earlier plays. For one thing, they are very dark. They're very macabre and grotesque. They all deal with the motif of murder in various aspects. So you look at the psychology of both the murderer and the victims.
So what was your inspiration to write the dark side of yourself in this new book?
Well, let me just talk a little bit about how these plays came about. Every year in Singapore, Theatreworks, one of the local theatre companies here, organizes a playwriting competition known as the 24-hour playwriting competition. So you travel to one part of Singapore, you stay in the room that's allocated for 24 hours, and then you write a play within 24 hours. So I would say I'm one of the quite a veteran of this competition. I've participated in it 4 times, and 3 of those efforts are the three plays that appear in this collection. Somehow, having the pressure cooker experience of trying to create a play in 24 hours made me kind of tap into my dark side. So Somehow or other in these three occasions, 1996, the inaugural competition, then in 2010, and then the 2011, I kind of wrote something on the macabre side of things. Yeah.
Great. So the victimology.
Victimology.
Okay. So what's the term behind it? I mean, how did you come out with this term?
I didn't choose the title myself. The publisher chose the title because I was also scratching my head. How do I? What kind of?
And why did you agree to it?
Well, it kind of captured that essence. Well, partly because why the title came about, I believe, is because one of the publishers, he's been reading a lot on criminology, and I think he came across this concept of victimology. So anyway, I felt that the title did very well in encapsulating, this idea, the thread that runs through the three plays about, what is it? Why do murderers murder? Why do victims become victims? And in the third play, the one that was just written just this year in this year's playwriting competition, I switched it to the other perspective, and it's no longer a play in the land of the living, but a play in the land of limbo, where both murderer and his victims, they come, into contact with each other in the land of limbo, and what happens there.
That's very nice. Very nice. So, are there any plans to write a third book?
Well, actually, this is my third collection of plays. So, my original collection of plays, this one appeared in 2004 in the Company of Women, and then in June 2011 in the Company of Heroes, Magic, and then because my publisher, Matt's Paper Press, which is run by the indie bookshop in Singapore, Books Actually, so they said, oh, come, okay, we're starting this collection of this new series of mini books, chapbooks they call them, and they said, okay, we must have a chapbook of you, and we must have it out for the Singapore Writers' Festival. So they said, check out whatever plays we haven't published yet, and let's put it in here. So this is how come victimology came about. Yeah.
And speaking of which, any future plans for a fourth book then?
Well, I'm currently now working on several projects. I don't know when I will finish them. The big idea is by Halloween next year I will have a book of supernatural stories out. That's the plan. I'm also working on my debut novel. I don't know when that's going to come out, but it will come out eventually. Yeah.
So in all right now, you spent almost about 10 years or more being a playwright?
Actually, I've been writing since the early 90s, but I was only first published in 2004.
Oh,
yeah.
Very nice. And once again, readers, Verena Tay here has a lot to offer. The stories truly rebound all of our senses. Here at the National Critics' Choice, please check out her books at Amazon or any good leading bookstores.
Go to the Books Actually website, www.booksactually.com, and you can definitely, purchase from Books Actually itself directly these two books.
There you go. Well, thank you.